Hello. Shay, I'm really excited to talk with you today. Now, listen, I already have talked to your instructors about you. So before we get started, I want you to know that they think you're amazing. They know that you're going to go out there and you're going to do a lot of amazing things. You've been an amazing student since you've been here. So I just wanted to pass that information along to you.
Okay.
You and I have not had a chance to hang out too much. So I'm really excited to just get to know a little bit more about you and your time here at Intellitech. But before we get too far, I think an introduction would behoove both you and I. So if you don't mind just telling me a little bit about yourself, kind of where you're from, what brought you to Grand Junction, and maybe how you got interested in becoming a dental assistant.
Okay. So I am originally from Jamaica. I moved here in 2019. My two sons and I actually came here um, for a new environment and better opportunities, actually. Um, when I came here, I was in one of the mountain towns and I met my husband, and that's how I ended up in Grand Junction. So I've been in Grand Junction since 2020. And so when I moved down here, I I had a job, but I wanted more. And I wanted something that felt more meaningful to me. And um, I was doing my research, and it took me a long time to figure out what field I wanted to go into. I wanted something that fit me as a person, my personality, and something that I would be happy with. So I was doing my research and I'm thinking, I also wanted something that would help me to have a balance with family life. Working, yes, but I also wanted a balance with family you know, and I stumbled on Intellitech and I did my research and I came here and I asked all the questions and it seemed like a good fit because I looked into the dental program and I love teeth. I love taking care of the teeth. And I think everyone, needs to have that confidence of a good smile and good oral health and whatever. Didn't know much about it, um, but I thought that was something that I would enjoy doing. So I signed up and I started here.
I love the story. It starts. I was in Jamaica and then I
Mhm.
was really curious. I'm like, how do you go from there to little Grand Junction? But it makes sense. Went to one of our little mountain towns, but how did you end up in the mountain town? That doesn't make any sense either. Did
Oh,
you throw like a dart and say Colorado looks cool?
no. I had a friend from Jamaica that was there.
Mm,
So I came on vacation yeah, in 2017
mm,
and I went back home. And then it was a really wonderful place.
mm.
And I decided to come back.
I love that. So we're able to go and spend some time in the mountains, which everyone loves the mountains. Everyone
Mhm.
should go and spend some time there. And then found someone that you like a little bit or a lot, I'm not sure. And then you all kind of made your way here to Grand Junction. I also noticed kind of when you were telling me what was going on that you said that you like teeth. So I'm actually just going to dig into that a little bit more because how does one to make the decision that they like teeth? Like there something in your past that, you had experience with this before, or you just decided you like teeth?
So for me, when you see someone, the first thing I see is their mouth and their teeth and what's going on.
Mm,
So I always try to, you know, get my teeth cleaned, even from back home every 6 months and try to, I just think it is important to have a really good smile. And out of the options that I saw or thought about, that was what piqued my interest.
mm, mm. Interesting that you said that. Very, very simple because I feel like we all feel the same way. Like a good smile is good and good oral health is like crucial to
Yeah.
actual health, but you're just like, yeah, I like smiles, I like teeth, I want to help people. And I think the cool thing about the field that you're in is that there's probably like a lot of fear in that field for some reason, for other people, not the
Yes.
people who are in it doing it, but the people who need to show up for those every 6 month appointments. And so I'm not really sure if this is a fair question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. How do you think that you'll be able to help those people who might have some fears of going to the dentist based on what you've learned in the program here?
Okay, so firstly, I am a patient to a dental office. So I understand the fear and I hate needles. So, like whenever I'm gonna go get a fill-in, they had to like inject the site and that would make me so fearful. And I would tell the dentist, I'm really scared of needles, and they would try to calm me down and explain that, it's okay and whatever. So I think I myself, because I know that, I'm able to help someone else in a similar situation.
Mm. Um, I think it's crucial too, because again, like I said, so many people are afraid of needles, afraid of the drills, just afraid.
Yeah.
And so they need somebody who has that compassion, and also knows what they're doing. So I'm going to kind of segue. You've spent some time learning how to be a dental assistant here. Tell me a little bit about your experience as a student here at Intelitech.
So when I started here, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And the teachers, they were very patient. They explained everything, but even when they were doing all of that, I'm like, I'm not gonna get this. It's just a lot of information. Everything is new. And they helped me through it. And there were so many things to learn, but I know so much now compared to when I just started. And yeah.
I think that one of the things about the program that may scare some people is the pace of it. So, how were you able to pick up the information that you had, or how do you feel that you were able to pick it up in the short amount of time that you had to learn it all in?
So honestly, for me, I felt like I ate, I breathe, I everything was about school because from I went to high school and I didn't get to go to college. And, like even the computer, at one point I like stopped using it. And my son bought me a computer and I stopped using it because it was always just my phone. I had no need to use a computer. So when I started, I was very lost. I had to like relearn a lot of things and my brain was like frozen. And then, you had all these younger students that just left high school. So I felt like I was like lagging behind. And I was lost. I was frustrated at one point. I was like, I can't do this. But my husband, he always encouraged me, and the teachers always encouraged me. And I had to like every night we had homework. It was overwhelming at first, to be honest. There was a lot of information, there was a lot of things. But I was working full time. I cut that down to part time, where I had more time to read and to do the assignments and you know. But the hands-on with the theory helped because you're not just reading about it, but you're actually doing it. And then I noticed that for some of the terms, some of the things they were repetitive. So you didn't get it this term, next term you get it. And that's how it worked for me.
Mm. I know that you also said you have a family. You've mentioned that a few times. You didn't make this trip over here and, start school on your own. So, how have you been able to balance that? You just said you had to eat, breathe, sleep, dental, but you had family too. So, how were you able to manage both those things?
So my boys, they're grown,
Mm.
so they're able to take care of themselves. My girls, which are smaller, which I share with my husband that I met here, they're actually my bonus daughters. Um, I have them on the weekends. So my husband, chips in and takes care of them. And some nights we don't make dinner. We get takeout or we make a quick dinner or, he helps out and that makes it a little bit easier. But
Mm.
sometimes too, with the housework and all that's going on, I fall behind because, school is important and we have to do the assignments on time to get those grades. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. It's interesting because a lot of people don't necessarily know how to balance those things and they feel like they have to do all of those things. But I love that you just said, sometimes The dishes may sit for longer than they're supposed to sit because my assignments are the most important thing at the time. So just figuring out how to balance it. And that's how you've been able to be successful. It's funny that you say that you were overwhelmed, and I had no idea because you've made it look relatively easy. So, but I can see how in the beginning, especially in your program, there's just a lot of information. Um, you are currently finishing your externship here, getting started, going to finish, and then you're going to be done with school. So what does life look like after you've completely finished your program?
Uh, I really think my end goal is to be a dental hygienist. That's what I really want to be. Um, I started with dental assistant because the course was shorter. And also it would give me an insight into really what I'm getting myself into. So I wanted to start here because going to school is not cheap. So that's why I started with dental hygienist, assistant,
Mhm.
assisting. Um, but my end goal is to work a few years in the dental assisting field to sharpen my skills and, you know, be more comfortable in the role and then eventually move on to being a hygienist.
I love that. You're just like, I want more teeth. Give me more. However, I can do this, but better. Um, the conversations that I'm calling this, that I'm having with students, I'm calling tricks of the trade. So I am curious if you had to look back at the scared, overwhelmed version of yourself, which was a few months ago, and you could give that person or any new student going into that field advice on how to be successful in school, what would it be?
Just continue to show up. There were days when I came here and I was so overwhelmed. There were days when I cried to my program supervisor and I just kept showing up every day. You know, there was one time that I was absent, but it's because I had an emergency with my son. But every day I showed up. I did the work. Even when I wasn't getting stuff, I was always here. I came in early sometimes, I left in late sometimes. And I found that group of students in the classroom that moved at my pace and I moved with them. So like we would encourage and pull each other.
Mm,
Because
mm.
as I said, I was one of the slower ones, so I tried to attach myself to someone that was moving, that I could encourage me to move.
hmm I think that's really important that you mentioned that because having a good support system is really important. And that you saw forward enough that you needed to pick up on some people who were in class, who were going in that pace and go in the right direction to pick up. That's very obviously you're a smart person, so I already knew that you would come up with something like that. But that's smart to do. A lot of people don't think to do that. They think of their support system at home, family, friends, but you got to do that in
Home
the
doesn't
classroom.
really understand what's going on. So
Said from the expert in the dental assistant field. I agree. They don't quite know what's going on. So that's a awesome way to look at it. I think I probably know the answer to this, but I don't know completely 100%. So if you had to give any shout outs to people or say thank you to anyone, to would you want to say thank you or shout out?
uh, thank you to my husband first, because he's the one that understands the frustration and the late nights. And sometimes we would be traveling, and my book would be my best friend. It would be my lap. And I would be there doing homework. And, so shout out to my husband. He was very supportive and he was the one that was telling me, hey, you can do this. So shout out to him. But I also have a lot of family members who kept saying, I'm so proud of you. Keep going, like my sisters and my mom and my mother-in-law, who we recently lost.
Mm.
Shout out to her. She was very instrumental in this journey as well.
Mm. Well, shout out to you for doing an absolutely amazing job here. I know you got a few weeks left to your program, but I know you're gonna excel at your externship. I know you're gonna excel as a dental assistant, and hopefully in your future career as a dental hygienist, you'll come back and let us know when that happens, and maybe like do a few seminars for us, and maybe we can come do a field trip wherever you are. But you've been a great student. It's been a pleasure having you on campus, and we wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you.